OpenAI is a pretty sophisticated organization. They've been around for years. In 2022, they really started to pick up steam with releasing their GPT models, and in 2023, releasing ChatGPT 3.5 really started taking the world by storm. So OpenAI is definitely a much more notable company now, and company, that's a strong word, currently in a battle to determine if they're allowed to be a sort of for-profit organization rather than a non-profit sort of research organization. But that's a topic for a different day. But anyway, this just really comes across to me as more of almost a blatant marketing push. I mean, 12 days of OpenAI, shape of a Christmas tree. It doesn't strike me as much as a research organization as more of a commercial organization trying to push their products. But hey, that's fair. I mean, I'm a fan of their products, I have to say, as far as some of the utility and tools that they provide. I do have a lot of thoughts and ideas and some concerns about where AI development is going, and even might what might OpenAI be doing. But this just strikes me as a little interesting that they're taking this approach. It's definitely not what I expected from an organization like OpenAI. But either way, here we go. What are they doing here? Looks like really the whole marketing plan here is they're going to be making some releases and product releases and initiatives, announcements for the next 12, I think, business days. Not necessarily every actual day, but working days. And they're going to be telling us about new products they got in the works, products they're even releasing. And it looks like the first day of OpenAI's 12 days of OpenAI is ChatGPT Pro. So this is pretty interesting. I would say what stands out right away is the fact that they're marketing this at a $200 US dollar a month plan to be able to use ChatGPT Pro. So currently what we have is several different models of ChatGPT that you can select from, and there is a premium plan, plus plan, that you can use, which gives you access to the advanced voice mode and some of the more advanced models. This one takes it a step further, providing unlimited access to O1, their smartest model, and unlimited access to voice mode. So presently, I don't know if there's a clearly defined limit on how much you can use advanced voice mode. We'll have to do a demo of that sometime here soon. But there are limits to it, and how much that it can store and keep track of. And at some point, you either have to wait till the next day, or you have to start a new chat. This one is unlimited. That's pretty interesting. I think one of the main selling points here that they're billing for their Pro mode, however, is the fact that they're enabling it to utilize more compute power, and thereby allowing it to spend a little bit more time actually sorting through the task that you're asking it to do. And what does that really mean? Well, there are often limits, token limits and processing limits that these tool providers, so whether that's Anthropic with Claude or ChatGPT from OpenAI, they're sort of putting some gates there on how much these tools can do and how long they'll spend trying to figure out what it is you're asking. You can't just say, hey, what is the secret to the universe? 42. No. That's a joke there for you. You can't just ask it, some complex question and expect it to just spend, hours, days, weeks, potentially solving the nature of the universe. Like, that's an extreme example, but no, there's actually like limits, and they will cut that off. I've been trying out using these tools to develop multi-page documents and organizing notes and research notes and things like that. And at some point, it'll just stop. It will kind of, I don't know if necessarily give up, but it will reach the limits of what it's able to do for that prompt and for that task. With Pro mode, it seems like they're really taking away some of those potential barriers, allowing it to operate at a much higher level to accomplish more, reason more, come out with better solutions for what the task is, and allowing it to spend more time actually sorting through that to come up with the best result, such that they're going to incorporate a progress bar in that, so people aren't just waiting and wondering. That's interesting. I think it's great to have access, to some of these more powerful tools. From the technological standpoint, that's totally going aside from the philosophical point around, what it means for these tools to continue to advance. And we'll continue to dig into those types of concepts and concerns and what does it mean to have these tools. But there's a different thing here to really hone in on, is the fact that $200 a month, US dollars, like in some parts of the world, that is an extraordinary amount of money. There's parts of the USA where $200 a month isn't a small thing, for sure. There's plenty of people who are in the U.S. they're living paycheck to paycheck, that sort of thing, and so I'm not going out to saying, how dare they charge so much for that. Ultimately, in a capitalist system, free market, you charge what the market will bear, for the cost of the service or the product. But I think this is an interesting shift in the trend. $200 per month, that might be something you often see for maybe some kind of software as a service solution in the commercial market for, maybe enterprises and things like that. Certainly you can see things cost way more than that for a huge company to take advantage of some enterprise tool. But $200 a month is kind of taking a jump there. I could easily see for individual users, you can see various products that you might want to have access to that could be ranging from $20 a month to $50 a month. 200 is a bit of a jump, and that's rather telling. And I think, for one, I know that based on the stuff I've been reading and some of the chatter, that of course ChatGPT is burning a lot of money training their newer models, so they need to take in revenue in order to cover that. So that's understandable. But I think from a longer term standpoint, looking at how this sort of trajectory could continue to evolve with these product releases from all these different companies and how they're being priced, they're testing out the market right now, see what it will bear. I worry that when we look at, how these impact the human race in general and what it means for a society, there's this idea that, hey, AI is going to help people. We're going to give them access to the world's knowledge and to be able to have unlimited capability to understand things by having these tools. That's great. But will that be available for everyone? There's this idea that it's going to democratize knowledge. But will it? Because if the access to those tools are gated behind a cost that many people cannot pay, then is it actually democratizing that? Now, of course, ChatGPT does have a free version, but my intuition is we'll continue to see that what is available for free will be a lower tier of capability. Now, lower tier capability, artificial intelligence may still be pretty incredible compared to what people had to work with 5-10 years ago, right? Just mind-blowing still. But it would be disappointing to see that these most powerful tools will continue to be only available to a very small proportion of society, simply because they have the wealth and resources to afford it, to be able to pay that money as opposed to paying the rent instead. So we'll see how that goes. I do think that this is a sign of how things may go. Other companies like Anthropic, Microsoft, Google, they have their own kind of advanced or premium versions of their AI tools, Copilot, Gemini, Claude. They're going to be looking to see how the public receives this, and they're probably going to adjust their plans accordingly, to determine, are they going to price that way, and they will follow suit. Ultimately, I think they're acknowledging that there are people out there, or organizations out there, who can afford that and would love to not have any limits on what they're doing with it, and will happily pay that money. So why not capture that revenue? So there you go. That's interesting. This is going to be 12 days of OpenAI, and we'll see what comes next. I have a feeling that we're going to see a few more tools get launched, but if this is a big one to come in out of the gates with, I'll be really curious to see what else they have in store. It could be quite a bit. So I'd love to see what you guys think about this. Certainly post a comment. Let me know what you think about the Pro plan. Would you actually be using it? I might check it out, but I don't know. $200 is pretty steep. We'll see. All right, thanks. Take care.